This is a roll call vote. Commissioner McLeod?
Aye.
You have
Oops.
comments, Paul?
Oh, wait. Yes. Come up, please. I'm sorry I didn't see you.
Good evening. I don't even know what time of day it is at this point. My name is Susan 𝗍𝗡𝗖𝗍. I'm a resident of Polk County, Lakeland unincorporated area. I would ask that I not have to give my address because I'm a disability advocate and have come across quite a bit of threatening things at this time.
You're good.
I've submitted stuff to you guys before when the mask mandate came up previously. Mayor Mutz, you and I had an interaction for a while, but this time I have a different approach that I need to give. Like I stated, my name's Susan 𝗍𝗡𝗍. I actually go by Jill, my middle name. I've been legally disabled since 2008 and a disability advocate for approximately 8 of those years. I'm here today to share stories that up to today have been purposely ignored, shunned, and mocked throughout Central Florida, and in fact throughout the entire state. My story has been ignored, but perhaps 2 of the 10,492 voiceless victims I represent will finally strike your hearts, and my extensive legal stance that I submit with my statement will finally be realized. The empty seats are actually perfect for me. I'm not going to give names because they remain anonymous. The first one is Adam. He's age 30. He moved into an apartment independently for the first time ever, 1 month before the statewide lockdowns. Mask mandates and/or policies had been in effect about 3 weeks when he realized he needed groceries. One store is within his safe accessibility zone. He somehow made it in undetected and packed his cart to overflowing, all while practicing alternative CDC suggestions to remain safe from the public. At the register, his cart was physically prevented from proceeding, and he was told to put on a mask or leave. He was able to articulate one time that he was exempt. Because of his disabilities, he then proceeded to shut down and was regressed into selective mutism. Not one patron spoke up to him, for him, as he was rebuked, scolded, mocked by both patrons and employees. He left and went one entire week without food before his situation ever came to light. 30 years this man worked to be independent. He's no longer independent. He had to go back into community living because of this. Eve is a 64-year-old grandmother of 11. She has an invisible disorder called non-combative PTSD. Eve was raped 4 separate times over a 25-year span, in 4 different states. Her last one, she had been bound and gagged and raped repeatedly over a 48-hour period. Do I need to justify why a mask or shield is impossible for her? Do you really think she should have to tell every gatekeeper such a traumatic story, or even one time? I know the law does not allow for such questions, nor does it allow for the demand for papers or other such identifiers. So I ask, why are you allowing this to continue? I put this to you myself, Mayor Mutz, and I never received an answer after that. Why have you not recused yourself from deciding this when you are directly involved with institutions committing these illegal denials? Lakeland is supposed to be such an inclusive, diverse, and accepting city, but all we've seen is hate, segregation, abuse under color of law, and blatant crimes against the supposed protected class. Stand up for these 10,492 and counting. Follow the law, have the Lakeland Police Department press criminal charges on those who commit such crimes, and it's a crime in this state of Florida. And stop any officer from further abusing us and using the threat of trespass on victims of these crimes. We are not second-class citizens who must beg for permission to simply be present in the public venue. My life and the lives of the unnamed voiceless 10,492 behind me are being sacrificed on the backs of a false belief that you are protecting the very group you are condemning. sent you all my story before, and I'm not going to go into it. I've personally suffered greatly because of this, and I refer to the incident where Lakeland is involved directly with, for one example, Lakeland Regional. I presented with thinking I had a heart condition. I was having a heart attack, could not breathe. My 79-year-old mother wheeled me in a wheelchair with my service dog along, and they refused me life-saving treatment at the ER. The comment that was made when I was leaving was, only a corpse is exempt. That's the city of Lakeland. And when I've called the police, they were wonderful in the beginning. They actually did an incident report. And then after that, when I called again, every response since then, they go to the business first, because the business is the victim, apparently. Then they come to me, and then they threaten me with trespass. They want to write now and ask why I wear a body cam. It's because of that. My life is being threatened. My life is on the line. I have too many people relying on me to speak up. So I ask, at least, if you are doing your suggestions, make it bold and blatant, like no other in the state has ever bothered to do, that we in this city will not stand up any longer. There is no direct threat. There is no any of that. The things that are being used in this state, the things that are being used in this area, do not apply. People are using blanket statements to get out of being able to accommodate. It was pretty bad the other day. I went to Whole Foods in Tampa and cried because they didn't confront me. They did the perfect example of an accommodation and just did a medical test like you would do walking into a doctor's office. That's awesome to me. That's an easy accommodation. I wear little air purifiers around because I sure don't want to get sick in the meantime. The people that are legitimately disabled need you guys behind us, and you haven't been at all. None of you. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your